led by visionaries who dared to challenge the enriched hierarchies. Among them, Tandai Periyar and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar stand as an uncompromising voice of truth, who declared that liberty without equality is hollow and progress without justice is incomplete. In 1925, after exiting from Congress, Periyar launched the self-respect movement, a radical call to dismantle caste oppression and liberate individuals from shackles of superstition and blind traditions. He proclaimed that self-respect is the foundation of human dignity, that no man or woman should bow before any other accident of birth. His movement championed the women's rights, intercaste marriages, and the eradication of priestly dominance. Periyar's rationalist philosophy urged society to question authority, to embrace science, and to reject rituals that perpetuated inequality in our society. His words are still echoing in our ears. Wisdom lies in thinking. The sphere of thinking is a rationalism. Dr. Ambedkar is the architect of social justice in India. Born into the most marginalized section of the society, rose through education and perseverance to become the chief architect of the Indian Constitution. He understood that the political democracy must rest upon social democracy, defined by liberty, equality, and fraternity. Ambedkar fought tirelessly for the annihilation of caste, for the rights of the Dalits and the marginalized communities, and for the empowerment of women. His insistence on education, organization, and agitation remains a timeless mantra for social transformation. Ambedkar reminded us, caste is not a division of labor. It is a division of laborers. His vision was not reform alone, but revolution in thought and practice. Though Periyar and Ambedkar came from different backgrounds and pursued different strategies, their missions converged. Both sought the annihilation of the caste, both demanded the dignity of oppressed, both envisaged a society where the reason trumped over superstition and justice trumped over privilege. Together they laid the intellectual and moral foundation for a new India, an India where equality is not a charity but a birthright. Nearly a century later, their messages remain urgent. Caste discrimination persists, often in subtle and insidious forms. Gender equality continues to deny women equal opportunities. Economic disparities widen the gulf between privilege and poverty. Social divisions threaten the unity of our nation. In this context, the teachings of Periyar and Ambedkar are not relics of history, they are living guides for our present and future. As inheritors of their legacy, we must pledge ourselves. Defend rational thought against superstitions and dogma, protect the constitutional values against erosion, empower the marginalized through education and opportunity, celebrate the diversity while building unity, ensure self-respect for all, regardless of the caste, creed, and gender. I welcome Dr. Mukta Dabolkar to the social justice is not a destination. It is a continuous journey. Each generation must renew the struggle with courage and conviction. As we commemorate the centenaries and jubilees of all these movements, let us remember that the flame lit by Periyar and Ambedkar must never be extinguished. That India's greatness lies not only in its economic progress, but it is the moral progress of the society. That the dream of social justice will be fulfilled only when the child walks with dignity, every woman lives with equality, and every community lives with fraternity. In the pursuit of our shared vision, no geographic boundaries can divide us. No religion or caste can separate us. No language can fragment us. Our voice and our identity are one and the same. That is the rooted in self-respect and committed to social justice for all. We walk forward, guided by the timeless philosophy of the Great Buddha, Dr. Veeramani, and Tandai Periyar, whose visions continues to illuminate our path forever. Let us rise together with self-respect in our hearts and justice in our actions. Vanakkam, Jai Bhim, long live self-respect movement, long live the social justice. Thank you. I will first initially request Dr. Aishwarya Balakrishnan, MD and social activist, to say a few words about Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Tandai Periyar for the self-respect movement of social justice in India. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, other esteemed guests, my dear friends and elders, and my dear vibrant younger generation present here today, good morning. Before I introduce myself, I start the speech, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Aishwarya Balakrishnan from Tamil Nadu, pursuing community medicine in Mumbai, and yes, I am married. I want to pause here because what I say next is very important. Many times people have asked me, sometimes politely and sometimes with judgment, why haven't you changed your surname after marriage? Let me answer that today from this stage. Balakrishnan is my father's name. By birth, by nature, by sacrifice, he has brought me up. My education, my confidence, and identity were shaped long before I got married. Just because I got married, should I change my surname or should my identity should be deleted? No, I have not changed my surname. And that does not mean I love or respect my husband any less. Because for a woman to change her surname, that is where the separation quietly begins. It is subtle, it is normalized, yet it is very dangerous. It tells a woman that your identity no longer matters. And that is exactly what Tandai Periyar questioned. And that is exactly how the social self-respect movement started. And let me ask you a question. If dignity is natural, why did people have to fight for it? Why did women have to strive just to be seen as equals? History gives us an uncomfortable answer that self-respect was not given, it was taken back. If something was stolen from you, you should not beg for it, you should reclaim it. Because for centuries, self-respect has been systematically stripped out in the name of caste and religion, naturally absent. So, it has to be reclaimed through awareness and that fight was led by visionaries like Periyar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And I stand before you not only as a speaker but as a doctor, and the fact that I could study medicine, speak freely, and even stand on the stage, it happened because Tandai Periyar challenged inequality. Because Ambedkar wrote equality into the constitution. Because various social reformers has refused to accept caste, religion, and all the superstitious beliefs as destiny. And I don't just treat diseases. I see how the society itself makes people sick. I see girls dropping out of school and becoming malnourished mothers later. I see women neglecting their health because they were taught to tolerate pain, not to speak about it. And I see communities trapped in poverty, not because they don't lack ability, because opportunities never reached them. And let me share something I witnessed personally. One of my friend's home, who are considered as the upper caste in the society, and there was some construction work going on, and the workers just came inside the home and asked for water. And my friend's father, he became so angry and shouted at them to stand outside the main veranda. My friend, who witnessed all this, just stepped outside, called the workers inside, made them sit on the sofa, and offered them water. That moment, the father got angry, but he was silent and left the place. That silence mattered because even if one generation carries the gas, the current generation forward. And that moment was equality in action. That's why I strongly believe that social justice is public health, equality is preventive medicine, and education is the strongest vaccine against all oppression. And now let me speak about my home. Because changes does not begin on stages, it begins in home. My husband and I share equal responsibilities. Whenever I cook, he does the vessels. Whenever I wash the clothes, he does it. This is not helping or this is not modern love. This is respect. This is equality. And I didn't learn this after marriage. I learned it growing up from my parents. Because my mother taught me that being a woman does not mean being submissive. If she would have been, I would have been too. And she raised both the children equally. My brother cooks, my brother does the household works. Not because he is helping, because he was taught that home is where everyone lives in it. And that is where the real social reform begins, at home. And to all the parents present here today, let me speak directly to you. When you teach your son to be dominant just because he is a male, you are raising future oppression. And when you are teaching your daughter to be submissive because she is a female, you are slowly stealing her self-respect away from her. Stop teaching boys to command and stop raising girls to obey. Raise humans who respect humans. And now I want to share one more incident which happened during one of a field visit in a rural tribal area in Palgar district. I met a woman. She was a daily wage laborer. She earned very little. And beside her was standing her daughter, so confident and outspoken in school uniform, who was dreaming to become a collector. I asked the mother, "You have never went to school. Why did you send her?" The mother looked at me and said, "I never wanted her life to become like mine." That woman may have never studied Ambedkar or she may have never seen Periyar, but she was living the self-respect movement. So right there lies the true legacy of this moment. And to all the younger generation present here, you may feel that caste discrimination is a history and women empowerment has already been achieved. Or you may feel social movements are no longer needed. But remember, privilege feels invisible to those who have them. And Self-respect today means speaking up even when the injustice is subtle, respecting women not just in words but in action, questioning blind beliefs and choosing equality even when it is uncomfortable. As we complete this 100 years of self-respect movement, let us ask ourselves honestly, are we truly living these values or just admiring them? Are we practicing equality or only talking about it? Because this movement does not belong to the past, it belongs to the current generation through our actions, our courage and silence. I end with gratitude to Tangai Periyar for teaching us to think fearlessly, gratitude to Ambedkar for securing dignity in law, gratitude to our parents and elders because they endured so that we could stand tall. Let us honor them not only with garments but with actions.
Yes, we wanted to start with the speaker for the rights of leaders of fought for, and she is a living evidence of the benefit of Dr. Baba Ambedkar and the Periyar. We have a very time. I would request the following speakers to limit their speeches as precise as possible. I would request Mr. Vivek Kumar of Union Bank Employees Welfare Association to speak few words. Thank you.
Respected Chief Guest Dr. K.Veeramani, distinguished speakers on the dais, organizers and my dear friends. I sincerely thank the organizers for inviting me to speak on this important occasion dedicated to self-respect movement and social justice. And I'm truly honored to be sharing this dais with the stalwarts present here on the dais. Now, when we gather on such platforms, we are not merely remembering history, but we are asking a much more difficult question, and that is, how do we carry this legacy into the everyday life today? Now, the self-respect movement is not just about slogans, speeches, and organizations. Our social revolutionaries understood a deep truth, and that was, ideas alone do not transform society. Organizations and institutions, they do. Mahatma Jyoti Phule did not simply criticize caste operations. He created Satya Sodhak Samaj. He established schools. He knew that guarantee of social justice. Jyotiba Phule, she did not merely spoke about the women's dignity. She again created schools, shelters, and safe spaces for women. Proving that social justice requires not only sympathy but institutions. Sauji Maharaj, he used state to create scholarships, hostels. Then Narayan Guru built temples and educational institute that broke caste monopoly. Ironically organized movements that forced schools to open their doors for Dalits. Periyar built movements, journals, organizations so that rationalism and self-respect entered everyday life. Dr. Baba Ambedkar built again organizations, labor platforms, political structures, and finally the Constitution of India, the most powerful institutional guarantee of social justice. All of them, all the above social revolutionaries followed the same method: protest plus organize, ideology plus structure. They taught us without organization, reform remains temporary. Friends, today humiliation does not always appear openly. Sometimes it silently comes in the form of bureaucracy and dependence. Many poor and backward classes, they correcting an Aadhaar detail, applying for government scheme, accessing pensions, scholarships and subsidies, understanding official notes becomes a humiliating task. So, because they lack knowledge, self-confidence, digital literacy, they are unable to access and are forced to go to the brokers and middlemen for all these rights which are legally free. Now, at the same time, we also have a silent strength among our community. Among backward classes, educated youth, bank employees, teachers, professionals, retired officers, they generally want to help, but due to lack of family responsibility, they cannot commit full time. However, many can spare 1 hour or 2 every day. What we lack is organization. My proposal is that we create community of help structures, a network of volunteers. These volunteers can help people in Aadhaar corrections, government scheme applications, and we will freely distribute these numbers among people so that they can connect to us without hesitation and without intermediaries. Now friends, when we speak of structures, we cannot ignore health, because health, self-respect means knowing one's body, asking questions, understanding treatments, rejecting fear and superstition, making informed decisions. Person who understands their health stands with dignity. Health literacy is not luxury, it is a social justice. For centuries, the upper communities, they had access to knowledge, they had access to nutrition, they had access to health and exercises, but for our communities, when they do not know whether their belly will be full or empty, health awareness itself is a luxury for them. So, before I conclude, I want to acknowledge the stalwarts sharing the stage today. Each speaker has devoted years, sometimes entire lifetimes, studying society, challenging injustice, educating generations, strengthening social movement. The work that they have created have formed the foundation on which people like me can even begin to think. I stand here not as a leader, but as a beginner and learner. If my small efforts, whether through community help structures or health awareness initiative, can be guided by your experience, criticism and wisdom, I believe I can serve society more responsibly. Self-respect is not a slogan. Social justice is not a destination. They are ongoing responsibilities. Let us move from ideas to institutions, from intention to action. Thank you. Jai Periyar, Jai Bhim, Jai Samaj. Thank you.
The speciality of Mr. K.Veeramani is that once upon a time the Periyar was confined to Tamil Nadu, and today almost all the Union Bank, if you go and see, the OBC Employees Federation has been formed and the Periyar photo is decorated in all the offices. I thank you for that. And I would request the former Rajya Sabha Secretary, Mr. S.N. Sahu. He was OIT to President of India, K.R. Narayanan, to deliver his words.
Ex-Rajya Sabha Secretary.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope it's afternoon. And Happy New Year 2026. I'm extremely honored to have got this opportunity to come here and stand before you and share some thoughts on the self-respect movement and social justice. This is, I think, the defining theme of India of 2026. Primarily because of the fact that the forces which now talk of Hindu Rashtra, they are trying to bulldoze the constitutional vision of India by repeatedly uttering that India is a Hindu Rashtra, whether the constitution mandates or not. So, in the context of this repeated invocation of Hindu Rashtra by forces and ideologies which now control the Indian state, this is a very dangerous phase of independent India, because Hindu Rashtra means, the rule of Brahmins. I was listening to a lecture delivered by Mr. Rajmohan Gandhi. He was asked a question, why Gandhi was killed. While answering that question, he made a very interesting point. He said, attempts were made to kill Gandhi even before the idea of Pakistan emerged. Primarily because he campaigned against untouchability, primarily because he campaigned for entry of so-called untouchables, which he called Harijans, which now are called Dalits, that the Peshwa rulers, those who talk of Hindu Rashtra in India, they talk of reviving Peshwa rule, which was there in Maharashtra, the Brahminical rule, that they want to replicate across the country. So therefore, one of the reasons why Gandhi was killed was because of that campaign against untouchability, campaign for temperament. So in the context of the invocation of Hindu Rashtra, which in other words is a kind of a Brahminical rule, a restoration of the Brahminical rule, the self-respect movement of Periyar and the emphasis on social justice has gained more currency than ever before. And therefore, the worldview of Ambedkar and worldview of Periyar, juxtaposed together, constitutes a remarkable force to defeat such ideas which are threatening the very existence of India. India that was conjured up on the social imagination or the political imagination of Periyar, which conceived of India in terms of equality, equal opportunity, and what he called Samadharmam. So Periyar repeatedly talking about Samadharmam is of critical significance today in 21st century. So Periyar's, I was reading a book. This is a remarkable book, Towards a Non-Brahmin Millennium. In this book, there are references toward the annexure. In the annexure, there are demands made by Periyar in 1936. So in those demands, see Periyar's emphasis on he said religion should be a private matter. It has nothing to do with politics and governance of the country. That he made in 1934. Religion is to be confined to the private. religion should be defined as a private matter and no reference to it must be present in politics and governance. This statement of Periyar of 1934 or Ambedkar's Constitution for the United States of India. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a constitution for the United States of India in 1945. He submitted it to the Constituent Assembly. In that constitution also, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar flagged neutrality of the state towards religion. State in India has no religion. So, Periyar's 1934 invocation that religion has nothing to do with state or governance or politics. And Ambedkar's emphasis in 1945 in his Constitution for the United States of India that there will be neutrality of state to religion. Now, those were articulated in 1934, 1945, and this has been the constant theme throughout freedom struggle. That Indian state will not be defined by any particular religion. But what happened? What happened in 2024, 2019, when the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya was consecrated. Ram Mandir was consecrated in Ayodhya 2 years back, 2024, 2023, 24. What did Prime Minister Modi say while delivering a speech? He went against the vision of Periyar, vision of Ambedkar, vision enshrined in the Constitution of India. He said, Ram is Rashtra, Dev is Desh. So where is the neutrality of the state towards religion? Where is the Constitution of India, which upholds secularism? So this is the danger. If the head of the government of India talks that Ram is Rashtra, Dev is Desh. So this is very dangerous. Nobody in India occupying high constitutional positions ever went against the Constitution of India in making such statements. Even when Dr. Rajendra Prasad participated in the consecration of Somnath Temple in Gujarat against the advice of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, against the advice of Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, against the advice of C. Rajagopalachari. He went there, participated in the consecration of Somnath Temple, and in his speech in Somnath Temple, after the consecration, he talked about secularism. He talked about neutrality of the state to religion. Even then, in 1950. So the point is, here for the first time, leaders who are controlling the state apparatus, who has got the mandate of the people to govern as per the Constitution, they are negating the ideals of the Constitution, which were reflected in the respect movement, which were reflected in the movement for social justice. So therefore, we are confronting a very, very dangerous situation in the country. And the salvage, we can salvage our country, salvage our constitution by restoring the values of Periyar's self-respect movement. So while he talked about the neutrality of the state to religion, proclaiming very forcefully that religion has no place in politics and governance, that resounds with more forceful momentum today than ever before. The other point is that he said that we will endeavor, this is one of the Periyar's demands, we will endeavor to fulfill the objectives through legal means, through laws and we make the councils and wherever legislations, whenever legal options are not available, we will agitate to have such legal powers conferred on us. See, this point of Periyar that we will agitate through legal means, this agitation through legal means is enshrined in the Constitution's fundamental rights. And look at the what do you call the similarity of vision between Periyar and Ambedkar. So here he talks about agitation, Periyar in 1934. 1942, B.R. Ambedkar gave an extraordinary slogan to this country: educate, agitate, organize. So this convergence of Periyar and Ambedkar, we will agitate in 1934 and Ambedkar in 1942, while addressing the scheduled caste country, gave the slogan: educate, agitate and organize. So therefore, again I am feeling constrained to bring what Prime Minister Modi said in the Rajya Sabha. When the farmers' movement was on, the biggest non-violent movement of the farmers on the borders of Delhi, they were not allowed to come to Delhi to protest, to agitate. They sat down for full 1 year. More than a year, the 750 farmers died in the process. So what did Prime Minister Modi say in Rajya Sabha? There are people now who are Andolanjibis. They want to make a living by agitating. It's ridiculing the constitutional provision to protest. It's ridiculing the vision of Periyar and vision of Ambedkar. This emphasis on agitation, this emphasis by Ambedkar on educate, agitate and organize was invoked by Professor Amartya Sen, Nobel laureate, in his book India and Uncertain Glory. In the first 20 pages of the book, he said there are 4-5 times invocation to Ambedkar's slogan, agitate, educate, agitate or organize. He said this slogan of Ambedkar first gives emphasis to education, then agitation, then organization. This means, Amartya Sen said, first educate people, mobilize public opinion, and then organize. So when the Supreme Court approved that only hills, mountains above 100 meters will be treated as Arabale, it was government decision. People came to the streets, they agitated. And when Delhi High Court granted bail to a convicted rapist and murderer, remitted the sentence of that fellow, people agitated. And Supreme Court reversed the High Court order, reversed its own decision. So this means the vision of Ambedkar, the vision of Periyar, how it guides people to resist the abuses committed by people occupying high constitutional positions. So the danger to the vision of Periyar, to the vision of Ambedkar, comes from people occupying high constitutional danger. See, Periyar was talking about rationalism in the context of caste oppression, caste inequality, caste discrimination, caste exclusion. That is a castes are anti-national, Ambedkar said. For the first time, Nobody else referred to caste as emptiness now. In his last speech in the Constituent Assembly, you are the first person who say castes are emptiness now. It's a very powerful indictment of a very, very entrenched entity, social formation called caste. So now castes as a whole in the form of structural inequality is posing danger. But that danger is accentuated by the people occupying high constitutional posts. Supreme Court approving the decision of the government of India. I'm sorry to say this. Similarly, the Prime Minister talking days, last days, lamb and so on and so forth. So therefore, it is in this context I would like to flag one more point and conclude my speech. See, what happened in just before Christmas? Christians were attacked across the country. In my own home state, Odisha, I was so pained, deeply pained, and all of us were pained. Now, calls have been issued to boycott Muslims in most of the northern part of the country. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, in his Constitution for the United States of India, he devoted 2 pages on boycott of minorities. Boycott of minorities. He said any call, any action to be issued for boycott of minorities must be visited with stringent punishment. Let the future parliament enact a law to deal with that. That was the vision of Ambedkar. Apprehensions of Ambedkar that have come true now. And last point, this SIR process, Special Intensive Revision of Electoral Rolls. Now the entire Election Commission's independence is alleged to have been compromised. It was Ambedkar on 16th June 1949, while replying to the debate on the Election Commission of India, he presciently apprehended that in the absence of any provision in the Constitution to appoint a worthy person as the Election Commission, government of the day might appoint a fool, a knave, as Election Commissioner, who might command the thumb of the executive. That is Ambedkar. So today, now the very foundation of democracy, the right to franchise, is also threatened. So therefore, I think that self-respect of an Indian, self-respect of a citizen, need to be defended by invoking Periyar and invoking Ambedkar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. S.N. Sahu is basically an encyclopedia of Indian history with reference to Dr. Ambedkar and Tanjai Periyar. You can read his articles in Wire almost every day. So we love to hear you more, but unfortunately the time constraints we have to limit it. I would next request our degree advocate Suresh Mani to speak on Periyar and Ambedkar at the given time. I would once again request every speaker that since we have Dr. Veeramani to conclude this is in
The organizers of today's function, dignitaries on the dais, our beloved leader, President of Dravidar Kazhagam, K.Veeramani ji. We heard just now Mr. S.N. Sahu, then our earlier speakers, Vivek Kumar, Dr. Aishwarya. Chawre ji is yet to speak, Mukta is again yet to speak, others. And my dear friends, brothers and sisters. When Bala and Ravichandran made me about this function, I was very happy to listen that Veeramani ji is visiting Mumbai. Whenever he has visited Mumbai, I always had an occasion to share dice with him, share thoughts with him. And at this age also, at the age of 94, he is the youngest living legend of social justice movement. So give a big clap to contribution of K.Veeramani. I will not take time, but few points needs to be highlighted. I have close connections with Tamil Nadu and South India. First, because of ideological continuity between Periyar and Ambedkar. Second, I was in charge of South India, total South India, during a period of Kanshiraji's Bahujan Samaj Party in a total South India. So I was 10 years actively working in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Puducherry. So I know almost each and every corner of Tamil Nadu also. And thirdly, Tamil Nadu and the Maharashtra. These are the only two states in the modern period who have thrown open challenge against the Brahmanism. Open challenge against the Brahmanism. And the pillars of this movement from Periyarji, Periyar, and from Maharashtra, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. They met several times. In 1944, they were together in a town hall of Chennai, Madras, where that famous speech of Ambedkar, "What for we are we here to demand some concessions, reservations?" And Ambedkar says, "No, my friend, we are here to rule this country, not to take from the people's country." So that Ambedkar's speech was in presence of Periyar. When Babasaheb was felicitated at that time by the Chennai Municipal Corporation in 1934, 27 September 1934. So we have a deep roots. We have a Shahu Maharaj portrait here. Many people may not be knowing the nexus between Shahu Raja, the king of the former Kolhapur princely state, who developed Ambedkar to emerge on the national scene. In fact, Shahu Raja was the guiding stone of the South India movement. And therefore, on 6th May 1922, when Shahuji died, Shahu Maharaj died on 6th May 1922. Same day evening, a condolence meeting was held in Chennai. Same day. Not even Maharashtra. Same day evening, condolence meeting was held in the city of Chennai. Because he was the guiding pillar of the South Indian movement. And the South Indian movement has a deep roots. Many of you may be knowing Shahuji is third year now. We know very well in 1950, when Hiller, Annie Besant, all those brought the concept of Home Rule League. And this Home Rule League was, what was it? It was nothing but the Britishers can be at the top, but at the bottom we will manage. Internal affairs we will manage. That is the Home Rule League movement. When that Home Rule League movement came in 1915, in fact Gandhi became the president of Home Rule League. He is the first political posting, although Home Rule League was not a political movement, but indirectly it was. So when Home Rule League movement started, the dissenting voice came from Madras Presidency, saying that this is not a Home Rule League movement, this is a Brahman rule movement. This is Brahmin rule movement. That was in 1916. As a result of which we know very well, 1916, there was a great discussion in the Madras presidency. Our population is this much, but we have no representation in an imperial council of the Madras presidency. That time it was an imperial council for Bombay presidency, Madras presidency. So in the Madras presidency, there was not a single backward band, only Brahmins. And therefore, some of the backward community leaders united. Prominent among them were Veeramani knows everything. He knows entire history very well. But you may remember Dr. T.M. Nair. Dr. T.M. Nair, which young generation hardly knows about that. Our awakened brothers know Tyagaraja Chatty. These two peoples initially, with the help of Dr. Mudaliar, they started a South Indian liberation movement in 1916. Baba Sahib comes in 1920 onwards. 1916. And then 1917 you have the political movement. And then you have a Justice Party in 20. That is the evolutionary movement. But 1917, 1920, Periyar was in a Congress party. Even Dr. T.M. Nair was also earlier in a Congress party. Earlier, almost RSS founder was also in a Congress party. Because that was the only one force that time. Periyar realized in a Kanchipuram session of the Congress party that this is a perfect Aryan political party opposed to the Dravidians, and therefore on the issue of a representation is the issue of again social justice. Periyar got unleashed, resigned, and then Periyar thundered like a roaring lion saying that I will crush this Aryan Congress party in the land of Dravidians. Thereafter, I hardly think that the Congress party came into power in Tamil Nadu. Periyar proved his words. And then he started his journey with the self-respect movement. Now, self-respect movement again, Periyar gave a leadership, but was founded by Mr. Ramanathan. Ramanathan, again, another pillar of the Dravidian movement. Periyar gave a leadership. Very interesting question here. Vaikom temple entry is a milestone in the life of Pandit Periyar. Vaikom temple entry. Vaikom temple is now in Kerala. I have visited several times. Not to the temple, just to see what Periyar did, what he had done. Not to visit the temple. But my object was how that education must have started to study. And when that I visited the Vaikom temple, first you cannot, now you can enter. But when you enter inside, they ask to remove the shirt. And when they asked me to remove the shirt, I thought earlier we had no shirt, so they were not allowing. Now I have a shirt. They are asking me to remove. I said, I don't want to remove my shirt. But here, the big event is many our activists who still praise about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi said, I will sacrifice my life for the Vaikom temple entry program. He never did that. Never. When that agitation was just flashing away, the leaders of the temple entry movement wrote a letter to Periyar ji. Come and I choose the leadership. Periyar and his Mrs. Periyar. Now, both went and participated, and that Vaikom agitation became a great success. Communist people never participated in that. But histories are written by some other people, and we are simply readers. And therefore now we have to create our own history. And for that, at least K.Veeramani ji, we must thankful that he has written so many books which we must study and pass on to our young generations, so that they can be awakened with these historical things. Finally, when of social justice, now we have Aryan rule in India. And when you have Aryan rule, despite the constitution, how could there be a social justice? That is a prominent question. Indirectly, the same question is posed by Dr. South. Although Prime Minister maybe belong to backward community, but the rule is not of the backward people. The rule is by the Aryans. And when we say the Aryans, it is echoed by the sound of the Hindu Rashtra, which Sahuji touched it. Now they openly say, 100 years completion of the RSS, Bhagavad openly says, those who are living in India all are Hindus. Whether they themselves believe they are Hindus or not, we believe them that they are Hindus. This is the mockery. This is the mockery of a constitution. This is the mockery of a secular state. But they are in the power, we should not forget it. And therefore Periyar's famous quotation, appeal, dethrone the Brahmanism. Dethrone. Dethrone means just throw them out. Still it is incomplete. Ambedkar and Periyar, both are, they have appealed to entire humanity, irrespective of the caste, creed and religion. That if you want your salvation in all sense, in the fullest sense of the term, you have to eradicate the Brahmanism. You have to demolish the Brahmanism. And unless and until we demolish this Brahmanism in any form, we will not be in a position to achieve a real dream of socio-economic, political and cultural justice, which is promised by the Constitution of India. Otherwise, we will simply say, Constitution is our product, Constitution is Ambedkar's product, but that Constitution is badly implemented by the Aryan government, then it is not a matter of pride for us, but it is a matter of shame for all of us. That we must realize. With these few words, I thank all of you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Periyar.
It appears that Mr. Suresh Vani knows more history than Tamil Nadu, where the Tamil knows. Thank you, sir. I will request Dr. Mutta Dabolkar to speak to yours.
Hello everybody and respected dignitaries on the dais. Especially I am very grateful to have been invited for this program in the company of Veeramani sir and all of you. I am here, chit is written that we have in a very short time and I am given 10 minutes to put forward my thoughts. So I will definitely abide by the time, because being a rationalist imposes, the rationalism imposes on you, upon anybody who believes in rationalism, to abide by the facts. So if I have to abide by the facts, I will have to abide by the time, the scarcity of time. So I'll use my 10 minutes to have a conversation with you, which can continue after the program. Today, among the earlier speakers, all of them were magnificent, but I would especially like to mention Aishwarya, Dr. Aishwarya, such a fine young lady, and she talked about the branching out of self-respect from caste into women's issues or into patriarchy, and she shared her own decision to not change her surname. I also am married for last 30 years and I also haven't changed my surname. So many people in Maharashtra, they think I don't wear any Mangal Sutra or anything. So there is nothing that declares that I am married, because it's absolutely not necessary for a woman to declare that she is married. And so I'm just a human being, and please perceive me as a human being. So after that, I have two children. My eldest daughter is 25 years old, and we have placed their names. We have removed the surname from their name. So her name, my name, and her father's name. So her full name has only 3 names and no surname, because surname talks about caste. And at many places in Maharashtra, like at every educational step in her life or in my son's life, they have to encounter a difficulty, like why you have kept. Every time it has to be talked over. And when my daughter was some 20 years old, at a point, I myself on the verge of giving it up. Like how many times you will have to fight about it, and how many times you will have to deal with the bureaucracy. But then my daughter said, no, I want to fight this battle. I will fight it. So this is how the small gestures also make meaning, that even if it's a very small gesture, it's not something of something like fighting caste upfront, but I think these are meaningful gestures which we can make in our lives. I would like to talk about a recent event in Maharashtra. Some 3-4 days back, Maharashtra Andhashraddha Nirmulan Samiti, the organization I'm working with, which was started by Dr. Narendra Dabholkar, we came across a complaint it was actually referred to us by Women's Commission of Maharashtra. In a small village in Maharashtra with a dominant caste, there is a tradition where a woman who has a son, after the birth of the son, she has to shave off all her hair, and that's the ritual. So some women are a little bit, they're a little bit uncomfortable about this ritual. But like when a meeting was held in that village, the people who are 3-4 women with them, and they said they had educated these women to talk in the voice of patriarchy, and these women said that we ourselves want the continuation of this tradition. So that's how I think the word self-respect that is used by this movement of Periyar is very important. This is a very important word, and I think we have to have it rooted in Maharashtra also, the exact word, because if a woman is educated and still she doesn't feel self-respect enough to shave off her head for some reason, then what's the use of all that she has achieved? And this meeting was held just prior to this 3rd of January, which is a birth anniversary of Savitribai Phule. So Dr. Ambedkar, he had always talked about confluence of caste and patriarchy, and he had always said that, like in Marathi, it is said that स्त्री हे जातीचं प्रवेशद्वार आहे, like women is at the gate of the caste, and by subjugating, by making women subjugate, making them abide by the rules imposed by them upon the patriarchy, the purity of caste is maintained. Like, why are all these rules? Like in Marathi it is called as Satchar Dharak, like a woman has to come home before 7 p.m. So why are these rules? Because why the education was denied to women? Because she will learn to think through her own mind, and that will lead to choice of her own partner, and that will disrupt the whole caste system. If she marries out of the caste, this will disrupt the whole caste system, and that's why all these like why the women have to bear so much of the burden of so much of like keeping inside the house kind of a thing. And like we have to understand this, like if we want to break the barriers of the caste, and we have to make our girls free. We have not only to educate them, we have to make such an atmosphere that they themselves will choose their life partner. They might go wrong. It's not that all the matrimonial matches made by family turn out very well. They also do go wrong. So when the girls choose their own life partner, they also might go wrong. But then we have to keep our heart open to take that girl back into our life. It shouldn't be so that once you have taken your choice and it was a wrong choice, and that's why you have to fend for yourselves. So that is not a right way of looking at the things. If we want to destroy the caste barriers, we have to empower women, our girls, to marry whomever they want to, and if at all their choices go wrong, we have to make our hearts so big to accept them back into our lives. So this is the way forward. And in Maharashtra, as Maharashtra Andhashraddha Nirmoolan Samiti, we actively help intercaste and interreligious marriages. The people who difficulties, because we have created a safe house in Satara. The couples who can't face their families and who actually face threats from their own families after getting married, they don't have any place anywhere else to go. So this is a safe house, the first safe house started by Maharashtra Andhashraddha Nirmoolan. Safe house in Maharashtra, where such couples can seek refuge for their safety for some days. And we also have started a matrimonial website where the motto of that matrimonial website is like, when you fill up the form, you can't write about your caste. If you have to seek the service of this matrimonial website, you have to fill up the form of being a bride or by being a groom without filling up the form of your caste. So one more thing I would like to talk about in one last minute that I have. Maharashtra Andhashraddha Nirmoolan Samiti has worked in Maharashtra towards passing of 2 laws, which 2 laws are like anti-superstition law, anti-black magic act, because gullible people fall prey to different babas and buas, and all their capacity to think rationally, like it's taken away from them, and that's how the religious, and then the ground for religious fundamentalism becomes very ripe, where the people themselves go after babas and buas. So I would urge you all and Veeramani sir also to have this kind of a law passed in state of Tamil Nadu also, where the gullible people who are defrauded in the name of black magic and in the name of religion they would be able to get out of it. And the second law is anti-social boycott law. That law we strived for and we got it passed in Maharashtra, because the caste, as it works from outside, it also works from inside, the caste system. Like whenever somebody wants to break the barriers of the caste holds that person back from inside also. So these are caste panchayats, and we thought before 2013, we thought that caste panchayats exist only in Uttar Pradesh and they do not exist in Maharashtra. But then we realized that almost every caste group has a caste panchayat, but they have very different ways of working out. So this law talks about boycotting your own person and not letting that person participate into day-to-day life of the caste if that person doesn't abide by whatever you want to preach. So these are the two laws, and I think this is our active participation into this self-respect movement, and I think Marathi needs to find out a proper blessing and word for this and use many more times this self-respect kind of a word. Thank you once again very much for inviting me. Thank you. Yes, and of like self-respect movement and Maharashtra Andhashraddha Nirmoolan Samiti, they like the 20th. My father was assassinated on 20th August 2013, and this day has been declared as the National Scientific Day, and like in Tamil Nadu, Veeramani sir and all their colleagues also this day as National Scientific Day, and he has like celebrated a whole month where talks were held about rationalism in the state of Tamil Nadu. I think which is a very right place to talk about, and it's still a possible thing to talk about the state of Tamil Nadu, if you as you all are aware. So there is this bond between these two organizations, and I hope it strengthens in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukta, for your own speech. In fact, Dr. Dabholkar family has given the life to the scientific temple, I would say. In fact, out of the two laws which you are speaking about, Tamil Nadu government is already underway. They have appointed a commission to look into that, and probably this year we will have, our new government of DMK will have these two laws certainly passed. And in fact, yesterday we have done the resolution on the same effect what you are speaking about. Hope we will be doing that. Last but not least, I would request Honorable former Justice Yassan Chowdhury, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, some reason to speak few words before our beloved leader, Dr. K.Veeramani, to speak the final speaker.
Respected Periyar Swami, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Savitri Mata Phule, and all our national leaders. Today we are discussing on the self-respect movement and social justice. with reference to the thoughts of Honorable Periyartv and Dr. Babasaheb and our Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Shalom Maharaj. I am very much thankful to inviting me on this August gathering. And, sir, as we are discussing this self-respect movement, we must know our history. All speakers have highlighted on the thoughts of Periyartv, Dr. Babasaheb and present position in India. You see, our old law, that Manusmriti, by the rules of Manusmriti, it was the provision, there is a provision that Shudras are created to serve upper three classes, Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya. Manusmriti has the right to education, right to earn, and every human rights were denied by that law. That we know all. My question is whether our history we should know or not. We had the tradition, custom of untouchability. If I ask any question to anyone of younger boys, what is mean by untouchability? What is mean by untouchability? They will not able to explain what is mean by untouchability because the practice today. What kind of untouchability was and its meaning is necessary to explain. If I touch to this fellow, suppose I am untouchable, he is upper class. By this touch, he will be considered, he will be regarded that I am political. And now I have to purify by Gomutra bath. Isn't it? And another form of untouchability was this is touch. Another form of untouchability was in the Tamil Nadu itself. By sight. If I saw that person 100 feet away, if I saw and he is untouchable there, I will be regarded, I will consider that I will put some instances from reported cases. Human rights revolution, self-respect movement was started from Tamil Nadu. I will quote in one instance, one case, reported case, on 14th May 1897. Untouchables had entered in a temple, Sundareshwar temple in Madurai district. They entered in the temple. And it was regarded that temple is contaminated, defiled. It was purified. It was purified by milk, ghee and everything, mantra, everything. And thereafter, a suit was filed. A suit was that untouchable should not enter in future in temple. They should not enter in the temple. And they also claim damages for purification. Suit was declared. Untouchables went in appeal to the district court. Earlier judgment was confirmed. Against that judgment, you see how they were alert for our rights. They went to the High Court. In the High Court, there was a compromise that on festival days only you can enter the temple and other days you should not. Then this fact known by this one Dorai Swami, the case name is Shankar Lingananda versus Dorai Swami. That Dorai Swami came before the court and submitted that, sir, some interest is there in this case, and I should be made party, and matter may be remanded. Court has allowed his application. Matter was remanded to trial court. He made his submissions, and again there was evidence. Matter was decided, suit was decreed. Again, first appeal was filed. It was earlier judgment was confirmed. Again that judgment, untouchables went to High Court. High Court has also confirmed the judgment of District Court. And these untouchables went to Privy Council, last court. My question is, how they started this movement for self-respect? And they went up to highest court, Privy Council. In those days, there was no any legal assistance. There may be financial difficulties, even though they gave fight up to Privy Council. Another case I will quote here. One procession was going to Mandir, to the temple. And untouchables were just merely standing on the road. It was a custom that though they were standing on the road, after seeing them, I am contaminated. And that procession people saw them, and as our procession should not proceed to temple. And they came to the court and filed a complaint before the magistrate. Wrongfully they have restrained us. Court had convicted them, passed sentence. Against that sentence, the untouchables filed an appeal before Sessions Court. Sessions Court has confirmed that judgment, earlier judgment. Against that judgment, untouchables went to the High Court, filed revision petition because final punishment was lesser, 1 month only. The High Court gave verdict that earlier judgment was set aside and conviction was set aside, their revision was allowed. This was the victory of the untouchables. This is the moment for seeking our rights, for establishing our rights. Another way we will proceed, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule started education. Just now our one speaker told, expressed that views. Unless there is an education, it is impossible to what are our rights, how injustice is caused on me, and how to secure the justice. Therefore, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule started education. The same policy forwarded by Shaumara. He gave 50% reservation in this state, in services. Suppose we are entered in the government service, respectful job there, we will get salary, we will get honor, everything. When advocate from that Sangli or Miraj went to the Shaumara and told that is King Shaumara. Now it would not be better for administration. That qualified candidate will not be entered in the administration. It is wrong. And then Shah Maharaj took him on that rath to that horse's place and asked the servants to take the gram, chandi, and 2, 3, 4, 5 servants were there and asked the servants to remove that all the horses. Able horses, same horses came there and that chandi was finished. Later, weak horses came and there was no chandi to eat. King Chhatrapati Shah Maharaj showed, expressed that whether these persons, these horses should be alive or not. And therefore, this is the reservation. They should be at the same level. Therefore, I have granted this resolution. Shah Maharaj has made declarations of removal of untouchability. Further, we know about Baba Saheb Ambedkar's movement, Chaudhar Tank movement, right to water movement, right to worship movement, Karam Temple Satyagraha. These are the moments of self-respect. Once, when Baba Saheb Ambedkar came as a barrister in the Bombay High Court, right was when Baba Saheb Ambedkar, what was denied to Baba Saheb Ambedkar? He was studying and he kept his book on the table and he was going to that water pot. All the teachable that advocates, barristers gathered and Dr. Ambedkar, you are untouchable. You are not allowed to take water from that pot. Baba Saheb thought that I went to London and New York, America. None had prohibited me like this. And this is my country, this is my own high court. And this is my position of the one barrister. What would be the position of our common man? Therefore, Baba Saheb Ambedkar formed Bahishkrit Hitkarini Sabha in 1994. From 1994 to 1997, he made awareness in the mass, and on 19th and 20th March, Kulaba district Bahishkrit Parishad was there. In that Parishad, he gave some messages to our society that live that your old traditions and old occupations, caste occupations. And on 20th March, right to water was exercised. Thereafter, water was purified by Gomutra, cow dung, cow milk, cow curd, cow ghee. That is Panchagavya said. Baba Saheb Ambedkar protested that event and announced, we will start continuous Satyagraha. We will take water in the morning, afternoon and evening. And that leaflets and handbills were published. Thereafter, a suit was filed against Baba Saheb Ambedkar. That was a representative suit. Again, on behalf of all touchables, against all untouchables. It was the pleading that we follow untouchability in a very strict form. If they touch, we have to take bath of the Gomutra. Therefore, if they touch the water, once we have purified by very huge expenses, 1,000 pots of Panchagavya we have thrown in the Chaudhar tank and purified. And it is difficult every day to perform this purification ceremony. And it is a very costly one. And if it is there, we have to migrate our people from this location. Therefore, suit may be decreed in our favor. Baba Saheb Ambedkar entered in that suit, filed his written statement, and submitted that custom of untouchability is against the principles of justice. Therefore, this custom should be declared as invalid, void. They have not made party to Municipal Council Mahar. It is that time is owned by that Municipal Council. And therefore, suit may be dismissed for want of non-joinder of necessary parties. And ultimately, Baba Saheb Ambedkar had argued, Shankaracharya had given evidence on behalf of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. And after argument, suit was dismissed. First appeal was filed by upper caste, it was also dismissed. First appeal was dismissed, second appeal was dismissed. Ultimately, it was the victory of Baba Sahib Ambedkar for the movement of right to water. Same movement was Kalaram Temple in Satyagraha. Baba Sahib Ambedkar had given all rights, human rights by the constitution. We have to exercise them. In present era, we are facing number of atrocities. Upper caste people are committing atrocities against scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. We must appear aware. We must start agitation like sir has told that 3 persons educate, unite and agitate. So, in this area, in this era, we should also start. I will present one to just 1-2 minutes, within 2 minutes. Untouchability, this is poem on untouchability. Brahmin and untouchables are here. Brahmin is saying, you should away from me. Oh man, don't touch me, don't touch me. If you touch me, purification required, now touch an untouchable boy is saying, oh, why you are saying such me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Now this Brahmin is saying, listen, my Dharma Shastra says, you are untouchable, untouchable. My Dharma says you are untouchable, untouchable Hindu. My Dharma says, this untouchable is saying, no? Why your Dharma says like this? Brahmin, my Dharma gives me soul rights. My Dharma gives you no any right. We are Hindu, all we are Hindus, but all we are scattered in different castes. My Dharma says no any right to Shudra caste. Then untouchable is saying, but why? Tell me the truth. Then Brahmin says, listen. Dig you well for us, dig you well, but you don't take water. My Dharma tell. Construct temple, you construct temple, but you don't worship and of the God and don't enter temple. My Dharma says me don't touch you. My Dharma says me don't touch you. My Dharma says you not to learn. My Dharma says you not to earn. Then untouchable is saying, listen. Oh man, you are human, we are human. Oh man, both are human, we are human. We don't know any discrimination. We don't follow any discrimination. Now, Shudra, we will burn. Shastras will burn. Now, Manusmurti will burn. Now, this Brahmin, now Allah, he become Allah. And he is saying that, oh, no man. Come on here, come on man. You are human, we are human. Both are common, both are human. Brother, untouchability, we will remove. For equality, now we will move. Now you can learn. You can earn, now you can earn. Oh man, come on with me. Both of you will take bread and tea. Yes.
Thank you for your nice grammatical speech, ending with finishing the harsh hierarchies. So before we call upon our the Honorable President and for the validity address, As Dr. Mukhtar Dabolkar said, she doesn't have Mangal Sutra. There was no rituals. Here we have a sitting example. In 2016, our beloved leader, Dr. Veeramani sir, had come to Bombay to perform a self-assisted marriage. Though in Maharashtra, self-assisted marriage is not a legal one, but in Tamil Nadu we had self-assisted marriage is the only state in India self-assisted marriage was legalized. But in Bombay, this marriage was held, and those couples have come here, Mr. Ingasal and Ranjani. And our beloved leader will name her child. Please come. Would you like it there?
It's a great pleasure and a bonus pleasure. I remember, it's a privilege and pleasure. I remember I performed the self-respect marriage in 2016 for this couple. Here in Maharashtra, in the side of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. And you know, the couple, already they were also the product of the same. They hail from the self-respect family. So traditionally, they are our assets, not liabilities. That is why they have brought the child. And I would like to name the girl child as Ilakkiya Baniyamai. Ilakkiya Baniyamai. The name itself should be Ilakkiya means literally they will achieve many things. But Baniyamai means they will face anything. Even whether it is a battle or a sweet thing, both will be there and they will march forward. And here, not only we are naming the child, but also give the another generation the torch of Periyar and Ambedkar.
On behalf of the organizers, our State President of Rationalist Forum, Mr. Ravichandran, will felicitate our beloved Asriya. Now, our beloved leader, Asriya, will felicitate our guests and speakers. First, I request for Asriya to felicitate Honorable Yeshwant Chavre, former judge, and our Asriya is loving to give some books to you. Next, to our beloved former Joint Secretary of Rajya Sabha Secretary, Sri S. L. Sahu, Asri will felicitate. Sri Sahu, sir. Our President of Bahujan Republican Socialist Party, Advocate Suresh Mane, will be felicitated by our Asriya. Next to the Subeditor of Andhashraddha Nirmoolan Vatava, Dr. Mukta Davolkar. Next, to the Office Bearer of Union Bank OBC Employee Welfare Association of Maharashtra and Goa, Mr. Vivek Kumar, will receive the felicitation and the Periyar statue and the book from our RCA. Our beloved RCA will felicitate Dr. Aishwarya Balakrishnan, the veteran social activist. Next, to the President of OBC Seva Sangh, Advocate Pradeep Gajanan Doble, will be felicitated.
Book.
I request our Asriya to felicitate the Chairman of Lemuria Foundation, Ayya Kumararajan. I request our Asriya, State President of Modern Rationalist, Mr. Ganesh. Next, to the State President of Rationalist Forum, Mr. Mumbai Ravichandran. Neenga Thank you.
Now our instruction coming to an end with the well-written address of Dr. K.Veeramani here.
तुमसे எல்லாரும் வச்சு ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்துக்கலாமா? சிலைகளோட வச்சு சிலைகளோட ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்துக்கலாமா?
வணக்கம் to everybody. Today's English session of this session under the topic of self-respect movement and social justice, Mr. Periyar, who delivered the keynote address, and our honorable former judge of the court, Yashwant Shavare, and former joint secretary of Rajya Sabha Secretariat, Comrade S.N. Sahu, President of Bahujan Samaj, Bahujan Republican Socialist Party, and our good brother, Mr. Suresh Khan, and Mukta Tabolkar, who had the history of martyrdom in their own family for the cause of rationalism and humanism, and our Union Bank OBC Employees Welfare Association Office Bearer, Mr. Vivek Kumar, and our social activist, Dr. Aishwarya Balakrishnan MD, and others dignitaries who were able to participate. Pradeep Dubey, the president of the OBC, Suyasan, Sevasan, and other brothers and sisters, comrades. Once again, we are happy to meet today, the second day, that too in an English session. Wonderful speeches. How long I will have to speak? Question was haunting in my mind since the clock is very fast. Time and tide wait for no person. That is the adage. How long? That question was a moot question running in my mind when other co-speakers were delivering their wonderful speeches. I would like to be more a hearer than a speaker, because all their speeches, all our comrades, all our wonderful dignitaries who have delivered wonderful speech, it's a privilege and pleasure for us. That is all music in our ears, music in our ears. Because we see what is the harvest of the self-respect movement. What is the service product that created the products during the century, during the whole century. This dais itself is one of the monumental evidence for that. Since judges are here, doctors are here, lawyers are here, those who teach lawyers are here, and also the persons, the parliamentarians control, and all this seasoned administrators here, and all of them, and also the employees association is there. That means
That is the result of the Periyar and Baba Sahib great care. And the work of this great work, the foundational work done by Jyotiba Phule, Savitribai Phule, and Chhatrapati Sahu Maharaj, and all those people who were contributors at their work to change the transformation of society. My dear brothers and sisters, I would like to ask how long I could speak. So long as you are not tired, so long as you are not very hungry. That is why I don't want to scare you, but I more care for you. That's what more important. So actually, as all our people, the dignitaries who have adorned this humble self-respect anniversary, that too in the land of Baba Sahib, Periyar and Baba Sahib, as we used to say on all the platforms, that they are the both sides of the same coin. They cannot be separate. Otherwise, the value of the coin will not be there. If one is absent, that is more important. That is the life. Because both of them, they were made to think as there is what is our society. The topic of today is self-respect movement and social justice. But for social justice, where would have been our position? All the people are now having our pen with our pen in our hand. What about the first? Kindly think it over. If these movements were not, if all the leaders were not born and continued the crusade for us, have we been they here sitting on the dais? Have we been there? Our sisters and brothers who are all hailing from a backward, depressed, downtrodden, and the telling of the masses, what will be the position? You will have only a can, only a bar, that to play the cattle, that's all. We would not have entered the colleges, we would not have been graduates, and above all, you see here our bishop. Even the Dravidian bishop is here, that's all more important. Self-respect, we confront more. And I here, and I was rather thrilled. And one of the beautiful sayings of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar is, Pope never becomes a revolutionary. A revolutionist never becomes a pope. But here is an exception. He's not a hero, he's not a... Because already our minds, because we have conquered the world, not by arms, but by ideas. That is more important. The self-respect movement is nothing but a movement meant to create a new thinking, that's all. The question mark is there. That is what they have already explained to us. Ask them why, when, what, how, all these things. These are the basic armory in our armory, arms in our hands. That is why the self-respect movement is thriving. And Tandai Periyar, you will be surprised. And even our comrades who have hailed more than 50 from Tamil Nadu as delegates, I would like to remind them, because the history is always not given a proper judgment. Baba Sahib Ambedkar is one of his books, very beautifully used one sentence phraseology. If you want to kill anybody, kill them with the conspiracy of silence, not giving any publicity, not anything. All these things because of their prejudice towards us. That is why they don't want to give a new thing, a new time and due publicity and all these things. That is why we don't know what is happening other way. That applies. The self-respect movement was started in 1925. But even earlier that, it was Maratha region. The leaders of Phule, Savitri Phule, and Sahu Chhatrapati Sahu, and later on, following their principles and all these things and make it a wonderful, internationalize the whole thing. Our Baba Saheb Ambedkar, all these things, all our leaders contributed their might and made us to think and converted the society. What is the difference between this movement and other movements? The same time, the other movements were there. They have got their own RSS like all these things. They have got their own hidden agenda. They have got open agenda is one thing, hidden agenda is another. But here, we are frank and brutally frank. We never have a diabolical approach. We never have this kind of split personality. We are one and indivisible. And we are always prepared to pay any price for our travel with the ideology. And our ideological journey is met with strong opposition and with strong strong awareness. All this they want to display. They want to defame our movement. But we don't care, because I Periyar think that I am the one person. How could I do all these things? Had Ambedkar had thought, no, I cannot do that. I will look and become a good lawyer and amass wealth and all these things. What would have been the position of our society? That is the question. So here we will have to think what is the benefit that arrived, because they don't want to transfer power. Many people, even earlier, they were for transfer of power. But these leaders, they want to have a transformation of power. There is a difference between transfer of power and transformation of power. The transformation of power is a social monopoly, must be broken down. All the worst monopolies, of all the monopolies, political monopoly, economic monopoly, and more than that, social monopoly is worst form of it. That is why the caste system was introduced by Aryans, by our aliens. They introduced the caste system. That is for that they created the Manu Dharma. The fight now is very simple. Even today, even after the work of all our leaders and all those who are to enlighten us, all those people, in spite of it, the fight is between the present constitution and who was responsible for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Manu Dharma. Manu Dharma, that still they want to create, they want to revive it even in the 21st century. The only answer is globalize Periyar. Periyar is the globe. That is only. When I say globalize, when I say, it doesn't mean Periyar as an individual. Periyar means included Baba Saheb. Included all those our earlier warriors of social justice. That is more important. That is why we will have to carry the self-respect movement stood against the current. There was no secret movement. It was not secret movement. It was not banned 3 times. That is more important. Still, it is loud. And we have gone. Periyar has gone many times. And that is why he was called as a jailbird. He never bothered about it. And we never cared for our lives. We cared for more our brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, society's life. The self-respect movement is one thing which has got a unique name.
The whole world, you search for the whole world history, whether there is any movement under this name of self-respect. The self-respect belongs only to human beings. This is nothing but a self-respect humanism. Humanist movement that was started earlier. The humanist movement and human first principle is, and he has decided what should be the principle. The self-respect movement, Periyar has defined very beautifully. Any movement, if it wants to thrive, first it must have an exemplary leader, number one. Number two, unassailable principles, uncompromising principles. We are here to declare to the whole world the self-respect that we could compromise with any friendship, but we could not compromise with our principles. We will carry on the cudgel at wherever, whatever may be the cost we will have to pay, that is there. And third, truthful volunteers, very committed volunteers. Fourth, honest propaganda. No disinformation. That is more important. That is why within the short span of 100 years, we have, as very rightly pointed out, our Anna, Indian Chief Minister, who called a new wave and revived the Justice Party rule, and he rightly put, Periyar's work has been putting centuries into a capsule. That was his work. So, they have topsy-turvy, they have changed society. First, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, earlier Periyar started, as very rightly pointed out by our earlier speaker, the Vaikyam state, our brother has heard. And it was not for entry. As yesterday, it was to just walk on the streets around the temple. Even the human beings were not allowed. Yesterday I pointed out, Periyar wrote to his leader Mahatma Gandhi when he was in Congress, why pigs, dogs, donkeys are going freely, why not human beings? Are they not human beings? It is a disqualification. That question. So, the first principle of that when we want to abolish the caste, eradicate the caste, and to put it in Baba Sahib language, the annihilation of caste is very important. So if we want to annihilate caste, automatically that goes without saying, untouchability is also included. Untouchability is not a separate institution. It is a concomitant result that is more important. Now, they are very top, our enemies, our political enemies, our ideological enemies. They are very particular and say, no, we are for abolition of untouchability. But what does it mean? We are not for abolition of caste. So that is a trickery. They want to play. We will have to understand it. And that is why they very brightly say, Baba Sahib once very rare, beautifully, Periyar and Baba Sahib ideologically, they used to say, Periyar has told, see here in Tamil, ஜாதியை ஒழிக்காவிட்டால் தீண்டாமையை ஒழிக்க முடியாது. Without annihilating the caste, you cannot destroy untouchability. A separate thing. So it is a root, and caste is a root. Don't cut off the leaves. Just abolish untouchability. That is why Periyar was dissatisfied and gave ultimatum to the government of India long time back. The Article 17, much against our discussion was there when the Constituent Assembly was going on. For the paucity of time, I don't want to dive. Actually, you will have to understand the untouchability is abolished and its practice is forbidden by law, the Constitution. But Periyar wanted, you see, my dear why people, why you want to abolish untouchability? What about caste, which is an institutional thing That's institutionally invented. That is why he started and against the rule, against the fight for caste, and continued it till his closed his eyes, till his 95th year. He was on the platform. Why the Archakas should not be there? Why he wants the appointment of Archaka from all castes, not only from Brahmins, in the Garbhagaraha, the sanctum sanctorum they will have to go. Simply, one may understand, oh, why Periyar is doing for this one Archaka? No, Periyar's principle was not to give some appointments to anybody, not to seek whether he is not a person who is devoted. So it is not for reserving one birth in the heaven, which is not our, nothing but a fiction. That is not our idea. But to see, when I saw the untouchability, casteism, the castes were conveniently find a very safe abode in the Garbhagaraha, that is sanctum sanctorum. That is why we want to convert. The K.Veeramani committee of untouchability recommended all the hereditary priesthood should be abolished. Earlier, Baba Sahib has very accorded it. Then he was interested in other things because he was very busy there. Periyar was doing this one. So, abolish number one is eradication of caste. And nowhere in the whole world you could see any injustice like this. By birth, this is discrimination was there. By birth, nowhere. You see, you don't understand how people, why human beings, they are, but not discriminated. Here, they are born in caste, lives in caste, dies in caste, even in the burial ground, he dies, but never caste dies. That is the pathetic, pitiable situation in now. That is why Periyar asked why the first priority of self-respect movement is to destroy the caste system, to annihilate the caste system. And to do that, what is the caste system? And even birds, have any bird, you could see all our things. Not only untouchability, even in Mandal Commission this has once appreciated. Not only untouchability, unseeability, unapproachability. You cannot touch, you cannot approach, you cannot see. Atrocious behavior. That is why they put. And also, Periyar gave a wonderful explanation and interpretation wherein the movement says the first priority is eradication of caste by discrimination by birth. Discrimination by birth we mean a larger meaning, not only a close meaning by men. See, if a birth by birth means male, female discrimination is there. So because I was born as a female, as a lady, why should I be termed under the caste system? Namo Sudra. Namo Sudra is what? That is why the graded inequality was there. They have pointed out that one graded inequality. First, head. The one in head, Brahman. And shoulders, Kshatriya. And thighs, they are Vaishya. And the legs, they are Shudras. What about Panchamas? No, they are casteless people, out of caste. And less than that, all these five, the last grade, sixth code is there. All the ladies, all the women, even if they are born in upper caste, they are all scheduled to be one. That is why this inequality is very unique in us. Not only mere inequality, but a very inequality of different shape. And to put it very simply, the caste system made the human beings dehumanized. Dehumanized. From human being,
to dehumanize. And what is the self-respect movement? What is social justice? What Baba Sahib Ambedkar said? What all those leaders who have been unveiled here, they are solving. Very simple demand. Very simple, but yet very hard to be practice. The demand is to rehumanize, that's all. From dehumanization to rehumanization is the demand and first principle of justice, the self-respect movement. That is why we are fighting for that. It is not an easy job. Because those vested interests, those upper caste people, even Dr. T.M. Nair was very friend to our Chhatrapati Sahu, was responsible here. And he was governor, Chhatrapati Sahu. I am happy that I unveiled the portrait. He gave the opportunity to the very person. He was my hero. And he was as very rightly pointed out by my that he was there to first in India, the concept of reservation, social justice was first opened by him in Golgapur preaching. You must be our brothers of Marathian and the leader of Maratha. Our hats off to you and our respect and our bow, all these things are very important. That is why we all came here to salute you, sir. We salute the people who have fought and those who salute our Periyar. We are here to salute. We are here to salute all those leaders who have opened our eyes, who have shown the right way. That is more important. Next one is women freedom. Periyar asks, half of the body. When you want to say, you want to know one eye must be have a separate treatment. One hair should be here. One hand should be in O. That way, what does it mean? It is nothing but medically, as doctors are here, that is nothing but paralysis. Paralysis. Paralyze the whole body. How to paralyze? That is more important. Periyar said, no, they are equal rights. That is why no discrimination. Because they born in ladies, they get more priority. Because they are responsible for our birth. They suffer like anything. At no point of time, according to Manudharma, according to the upper caste people, they don't have any rights like Sutra. Even worse than Sutra. No right to educate, no right to marry, no right to live to have wealth, and all these things. This kind of thing, we are for that. So, for our brothers, for our leaders, dignitaries, who are on the dais, we would like to bring to your kind notice in Tamil Nadu. How is that the self-respect movement become a popular people's movement, whereas in other parts of the world, it is confined to the area particularly. And in this government, we are able to give to the political decision. We are the poor people who decide in fact. The self-respect people, they are not the DJ people, they never contest the election. We are more concerned for the next generation than the next election. But today, next election is also important, which is going to decide the fact of the next generation. That is why eternal vigilance is the price for our liberty. That is very, very important. That is why we are carrying on that one. So, women freedom is there. I am happy that so much of freedom, so much of their doctors, now even they don't allow anybody. 100 years back, everywhere I used to go, what is the literacy rate? How your grandmothers, grandfathers were able to sign, were able to enter the portals of college. Now, because I come from first generation. So many of us will be from first generation. That is why, no. Merit and efficiency is not yours. They want to do all these things. That is why extraordinary fighting, extraordinary effort must be done. So swim with the current is not our policy. Swim against the current, that is the policy of the self-respect. that moment, unless and until we are ready to give ourselves for the cause, we will have to churn that one. The generations after generation, we will have to catch the moment. That is more important. The challenge now is, I will be surprised to know that the Justice Party movement in Tamil Nadu, the self-respect movement started in Tamil Nadu, is not the pioneer. But who is the pioneer? The Maratha leaders are the pioneers. We are very happy. And our thanks are due. Because of that, what? The self-respect philosophy, even without knowing and understanding all these things. Jyotirao Phule started that movement. That movement was confined to certain areas, but Kolhapur, it was Chhatrapati Sahu who was given a wonderful administration. And if at all, if you want a simple model means, you come to Tamil Nadu. Dravidian model was the earlier Sahu model. Sahu has done all this things. That is why we started that one is 1902. And he was given all kinds of defamation, defamation, all kinds of abuses. The disinformation was carried. He never bothered about it. So all these things, and people were dedicated to temple as dancers. Devadasi system. That is what, when we want to, and he controlled. So Brahminism started all these things. That is why we are not against any individual Brahmins. But Brahminism means perpetuation of caste, perpetuation of untouchability, perpetuation of superstition. So all these things. So the self-respect movement, not against any religion, not against any God, but when he said, when we want to destroy the caste, when we want to destroy the Varnas of Dharma, we are fighting. When we are fighting, they want to protect by cover, by saying, by putting it in some God. That said, no. As you see here in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, it was I who created the four castes. Chaturvarna, Maya Sreshta. If that is one, then I want to abolish the caste system. Because it defames me. Because it defames my mother, my sister. It calls, you see, Sudra means daughter born out of the illegitimate children. Why should you cast this kind of shameless? And that is why we want to abolish, we want to clear that one. And God, if that God is responsible for our low caste birth, then we don't want to admit that God. If a religion sanctifies it, throw it to a religion. We are not for that. If your constitution protects it, burn it. I don't bother. This kind of attitude is not particularly confined to anything. So we are for equality. This movement is for equality. Not only equality among unequals, equality among equals. That's more important. There are all kinds of things they are doing it. That is why equality. And first, equality. Then after equality, the next time is, next step. What is the next step? Empowerment. Empowerment. How to do that empowerment? That is the reservation. That is the social justice. That is why we fought. And earlier, the door opened by Chhatrapati Sadhu in 1920, no, 92. 1902. Now, that concept has developed. Even by the Justice Party in Tamil Nadu. Slowly and steadily, now we are happy to confirm you. We are able to tell with a straight head We are just telling it is 69% of our reservation is there, only in Tamil Nadu. And everybody, whether it is Bihar, whether it is Kerala, why not you? We also get it. Why not you? We do that too with 90 scheduled protection. That too after the demise of Periyar. Periyar is not an individual. The movement continues. That is why we are able to do that. So social justice is what is the demand? Even your constitution, Article 46 very clearly says, people must be respected and given because of the social injustice. This very important principle, my dear brothers and sisters. This audience is an august audience. The demand for justice arises only because there is already injustice was done to them. So how to cure the injustice? The only answer is a reservation. That too. How long? How long? That is more important. They say, so how long? Then Periyar said, so long as you don't build the bridge. So long you are not acceptable to us. Equality. So the equality and empowerment. If for equality and empowerment your superstition is a stumbling block, let us pass. That is why we want to create a scientific temple. We question everything. But it is adumbrated in the constitution, but never more than bridge. Nobody bothers. Nobody bothers about it. 51, and here the 51 article inserted the 51 fundamental duties. Everybody is aware of fundamental rights, but never duties. And recently, the RSS people, leaders say, no, even we could say, this preamble, originally there was no secular word. Now it was added later on. Even they added so many things. Even if you want to give these people help the poor, poverty, the poverty people, the poor people must be in upper caste. What is kind of atrocities? All these things we are continually making the crusade. So for women empowerment, the right to women to have the property was the leader, and that is why in 1929 first self-respect annual conference, our leader passed the women should also be given property rights. That is more important. The same time, the same self-respect movement conference was held in Maharashtra 3 weeks earlier. Baba Sahib Ambedkar was one of the patrons and responsible for that. So self-respect united. That is why, my dear brothers, it is time for all of us, and our gods never unites us. Our religion never unites us. Our religion separates. Our God separates. Our languages separate. Our religion separate. But Periyar, humanism, self-respect unite us. That is more important. How to unite? How to carry for the torch? It is time for us to carry for the torch, to continue the task, and unless and until we work, don't rest our votes, we will have to carry out. And Periyar never bothered, no, you are an anti-country, anti-patriot. You don't have the patriotism. You are not a Desabhakta. No, I don't bother about your Desabhakta. Here, I am more concerned about human frailty. I am more concerned with human fraternity. That is more important. He told a very beautiful analogy. I would like to remind this august audience. See, he used to explain to people everywhere, classes. You see, you are accusing that I don't have Desabhakti, I don't love the upper caste people and all this. Why? There is a reason for that. You see here, I got 3 friends. When I am living in a house, the next neighbor
Here, under labor, let me explain to you. One labor, they came out, they want to run away because I don't want to see him. Unseeability is there. That is why the pollution is there. That is why I don't want to see him. And he says that I am the people who are the citizen here. But whereas the next neighbor who is away from the 10,000 miles, he may be a foreigner according to you. But according to me, when I come out from my house, he greets me, hugs me, he shakes me, and that's me. Who is a foreigner to me? Whether that fellow who runs away so that I should not be with him, or whether the person who shakes hands with him, who is a foreigner. That is why I say humanity, human love, and earth is more important. That is the basis for self-respect movement. That is basis for this kind of rationality. That is why this conference, I must congratulate all the organizers, the wonderful for the 2 days, and more than that, this dais. I am once again happy and thank all our judges, all our people who are talented, because we are no mean, we are not in any way unmeritorious people. We merit the efficiency, we could compete. All these things, that is why it is time for us to carry the torch, to continue. For that, we will have to globalize Periyar. Globalize Periyar, you see, it's not a mere slogan. It is not a mere shouting a slogan. Because what earlier I told yesterday also a small part of some part of it. Now, our people, they got the benefit of education very late. But earlier, the upper class people, the Brahmins, the forward community people, they had the unique opportunity of educating earlier because education was a social monopoly. And they all went there, even to America, to other countries, and they are visa and all this problem. But what happened? Then our people have also gone there. They are no less meritorious. They all compete and get their new places and share, and they are well settled. There, even the foreign countries where our people have gone, wherever the graded inequality people who are given the opportunity through social justice, through reservation, they now have gone settled. But in those foreign countries, they are slowly injecting the Varnashrama Dharma. In America, there is a problem. In Australia, there is a problem. The answer is, they know that Periyar is the only answer. So Australia, they have adopted, they have started, and Periyar Ambedkar Association, Association, then wrote to the Australian government, no, this kind of Varnashrama Dharma should not find a place in your textbook education. Then they removed it. We are very successful in Australia. That is why we convened the conference already. So the meaning of slogan is globalize Periyar. You see, any disease may start. The COVID was started, nobody knows where it started. But the COVID has affected us, aggrieved us. We have given so many of our lives and our kids and kids. But still, can we say, no, COVID is there? That is why Periyar, Ambedkar, all the leaders, social justice is always the medicine, always the doctor, always it must be mine. We cannot close simply the hospital. We cannot close the medical college. Our movement is like a medical college. Our movement is the medicine which cannot be uprooted. And this will carry on and develop because social science will never fail. Social science will always be succeeded. Thank you very much for hearing us. Let us stand with Father. Thank you.
After having a wonderful speech of chief guest, we have arranged a lunch for all of you. Everyone should have lunch. And closing the meeting, Mr. Akshit Ravichandran will deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one. I, Akshit Ravichandran, is thanking all the speakers present here today, starting from Honorable Yashwant Chaware, former judge, Dr. Balasaheb Ambedkar Samuswar, Ani Prakasan Sanata Kaloja, also Mr. S.N. Sahu, former Joint Secretary, Rajya Sabha Secretary, also Advocate Suresh Mane, President Bahujan Republican Socialist Party, Dr. Mukta Dabulkar, Sub-Editor, and Shraddha Nimulan Vartava, Mr. Vivek Kumar, Union Bank OBCM, Well Association Maharashtra and Goa, and Dr. Aishwarya Balakrishnan, MD, social activist, and most importantly, Dr. K.Veeramani Ayya, the President of Dravida Kalagan, who has honored us, and we are so grateful for him to come to Mumbai and present his teachings towards us. Thank you so much. And lastly, but not the least, I would also thank my grandfather who had started the Mumbai Rationalist Forum here. His name is S.S. Ambalagan. After he is the former president, and then the next president, my father Ravichandran Ambalagan. And now I present myself, Akshit Ravichandran, standing here to continue the Dravidian ideology. And as the words from the Chief Minister, I belong to the Dravidian stock, and I shall continue to proceed with the rationalism forever. Thank you so much.
Wide வச்சுட்டு போட்டோ எடுப்பா கேமரா வைடு வச்சு
அனைவரும் மதிய உணவு அந்த செல்லுமாறு அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம்.
What? Nothing. ஏங்க அந்த அந்த குழந்தையோட அப்பா அம்மா பேர் சொல்லாமே விட்டீங்க, அது யாருன்னு பேரு? இங்கர்சால் ரஞ்சன். லாஸ்ட் ஒன்று. ஓகே. தந்தை பெரியார். Julie, hello, Ravichandran. எடுத்து.
Hello.
We would like to inform you that afternoon session is also there in Marathi language, and please be present all the participants. Thank you very much.
I don't know, sir. Yeah. Opposite, sir. Go opposite. Yeah, opposite.
புத்தகங்கள்ல ஐயா கொடுத்துரும் ஐயா நீ கொடுத்துரு யாருக்கு ஐயா இல்லை ஐயா கேட்பாங்க இன்னும் 50 பேருக்கு வாங்கியிருக்கோம்
போங்க இங்க இருந்து எப்படி மேல போங்க. Kersal Ranjan. Apa. போலாம் நீ போலாம். அவர் இறங்கிட்ட கீழே ஐயா இல்ல அவங்க வெளியே போட்டு விடுங்க அப்புறம் போ. அதனால வெளியே போயிருக்கோம்.